Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
With the recent release of James Gunn's new Superman movie, I thought it would be a good time to revisit some of the many Superman games that have come out over the years. So, stick around and join me for some of the best, and a few of the worst, Superman games ever released. The first Superman movie released in 1978, starring the fantastic Christopher Reeve as the Man of Steel. A year later, in 1979, Atari released the first ever Superman video game for the Atari 2600. Now, don't let the simplistic graphics put you off, as this was a fantastic game for its time and one I remember fondly from my youth. In this game, you start off playing as Clark Kent on his way to the Daily Planet. Suddenly, Lex Luthor blows up the Metropolis Bridge. You head to the nearest phone booth to turn into Superman. Now from there, you must find all of the pieces of the bridge to repair it, while also capturing Lex and his henchmen, and avoiding the kryptonite satellites that sap you of your powers. The goal is to do this as quickly as possible, turn back into Clark Kent, and finally, make it to the Daily Planet. Now I remember playing this one as a kid and absolutely loving it. I'd come back to it over and over again, trying each time to shave a few seconds off my last run. Now, this one has to rank as one of the best Superman games ever made. In 1987, Kemco released their take on a Superman game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Superman, or as I like to call it, Chibi Superman, has you playing as the title superhero, once again battling Lex Luthor and his criminal gang. It's a side-scrolling adventure game where you move around jumping and punching the bad guys. Wait, jumping? Yep, that's right. Superman spends a lot of time jumping around in this game, as flying is one of a select set of powers that you can choose from. In the game, Superman's powers such as flying, heat vision, super breath, etc. are selectable from an in-game menu. You can only use one power at a time, and its use is limited based on the number of power icons you collect. The game was poorly received at the time, garnering low reviews from critics and players alike. Critics cited poor controls, frustrating gameplay, and no clear direction on what you're meant to do in the game. This one needs to go in the bad category as one of the worst Superman games ever produced. On an interesting side note, the Japanese release of this game actually included a synthesized version of the John Williams theme from the Superman movies. Unfortunately, the US version did not, opting instead to rehash music from the RPG Indora no Hikari, also from Kemco. Oh well, I don't even think good music could have saved this game. In 1989, Superman made his way to the arcades courtesy of Taito. Now, the game is a side-scrolling beat-em-up style that has Superman flying around, punching and kicking enemies. You can also pick up objects to throw at them, and use a super punch that fires a projectile. The game also features some vertical scrolling areas, as well as areas where Superman flies and shoots heat vision at enemies, turning the game into more of a side-scrolling shooter. The game has Superman taking on multiple enemies across 5 levels until finally taking down the main villain, the Emperor Zsasz, a character made up specifically for the game, but who seems to be inspired by classic Superman baddie Brainiac. One odd thing about this game is that it is in fact a 2-player arcade game. The second player also plays as Superman, but wearing a red costume and a gray cape. The game doesn't explain the appearance of the second Superman, so you're free to imagine your own headcanon for the game. Multiverse Superman? Superman's clone? You decide. While this game has gotten mixed reviews over the years, most people who played it in the arcades remember it fondly. It's a shame that, to date, this game has never received an official home port to any console. In 1994, Sunsoft released a game based on the classic Death and Return of Superman storyline from the comics. The game first came out to the Super Nintendo in August of 1994, followed by a release on the Sega Genesis in January of 1995. The game closely follows the storyline of the comics, beginning with Superman's iconic battle with Doomsday, leading to his death. The rest of the game has you follow the emergence of 4 other Supermen: Cyborg Superman, the Eradicator, Steel, and Superboy. At different times throughout the game, you'll play as each of these 4 characters. However, you do not get a choice which one you play. The character you play is determined by the level you're playing in the game. The game finishes with the return of the real Superman, who defeats the real enemy in the game. No spoilers. Gameplay follows the classic side-scrolling beat-em-up formula made popular by games like Final Fight. And while the ability to play as different characters throughout the game does add some variety, the fact that each one plays almost identical to each other is a little bit of a letdown. The Death and Return of Superman has gotten decent reviews over the years, putting it somewhere in the middle of the pack of Superman games. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. Speaking of the worst, that distinction is reserved for the next game on my list, The New Adventures of Superman, or as most people refer to it, Superman 64. This game is not just considered the worst Superman game ever produced, but one of the worst games of all time. Horrible controls, lackluster graphics, lousy enemy AI and collision detection, abysmal frame rates. This game has it all. There's literally nothing of redeemable value here. As a matter of fact, I won't even subject you to any more torture regarding this game. Let's move on, shall we?
It's a robot of some sort. At least I won't need to pull my punches.
Create chaos.
Now this is more like it. Similar to Superman 64, this game is based on the TV series Superman the Animated Series. But that's where the similarities end. The game has Superman taking on Lex Luthor and Darkseid as they unleash deadly Interbots throughout Metropolis. Other villains in the game include Parasite, Metallo, and Livewire, all from the animated series. Superman, Shadow of Apokolips, uses cel-shaded graphics to mimic the look of the cartoon series to great effect. In addition, many of the cast from the show reprise their roles in the game to bring their characters to life, including Tim Daly as Superman, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, and the fantastic Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. Is it perfect? No. Many critics found the game to be pretty average based on the mission structure, which play out like episodes of the TV show, and repetitive gameplay. Still, if you're a fan of the animated series and looking for something that feels like you're playing the cartoon and not just watching it, then this one might be worth a try. On a side note, if you have the choice, you might want to check out the GameCube version over the PS2 version, as most reviewers agree, it's the better version.
Cal, you need to stop!
You can't stop me.
Your heartbeat says you're lying.
Begin.
And there you have it, a look at a few of the best, and worst Superman video games ever produced. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive list. There are other Superman games out there that I didn't talk about in this video, not to mention several games that feature Superman alongside other DC heroes and villains. Some notable games to check out include the Injustice series, as well as the DC Lego games, which are a blast to play. Now let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these games do you remember playing? And if I missed your favorite one, please let me know that as well. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please leave me a thumbs up, leave me those comments below, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, you can go ahead and do that as well. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.